Today we will be discussing constitutions in class as well as understanding what they are and giving examples for what a constitution is. So first off, there is the main four syllables, constitution. So the Constitution, the definition of it is a statement of the basic principles and a law of a nation, state, or group. An example it gives is the U.S. Constitution. It is also the physical makeup of a person. So a constitution is essentially creation. If you may remember from previous classes, there's also a similar word, constitute, which is essentially the act of doing this, the act of performing this. Constitution itself comes from the Latin word constitutus. Its definition is set up, establish. So essentially, you're creating something. You are you're in the process of creating. You also see the ion suffix, which its definition is act, state, or condition. You are in the act of creating. You are in the state of creating, or you're in the condition of making. Again, constitution. You can break it up into constitute, and then add on the ion, constitution. And it's important to kind of understand this because constitution pops up a lot in our class in history. And you'll also see a lot of words that end with ion, revolution, reformation. There are plenty of words that rely on this ion, and so essentially it is the act of. You are in the act of doing whatever your word is describing. And constitution is a very important term that we will use a lot in classes as well. A good example of, as it mentions, it is a statement of basic principles. A good example of this is the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution, created after the country was formed, gave basic rights to Americans. And so an easy way to remember Constitution is to think of the term we the people. We the people are the first three words that are in the U.S. Constitution. It starts the beginning of the Bill of Rights. And so a good way is to remember the preamble, we the people of the United States. That's the beginning of a constitution, of the U.S. Constitution. And within the document itself, you also see Bill of Rights, which has terms such as the First Amendment. Essentially, it's a good example of a document that gives a set amount of rules. Again, the term that we are looking at is constitution. Some similar words are also convention. You'll also see that pop up a lot during history. And again, we'll break that down again. The term is constitution. Constitution. It's very easy to remember. And so constitution will pop up plenty of times. During our class, you will also, the U.S. Constitution, of course, is very important. We see different amendments that occur in the Constitution. You have your First Amendment, which is the right to free speech, the right to free practice. You also have the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment, which allows people to own weapons for their own protection. And the Constitution itself has a lot of it goes even further. We see where further on we continue to add new rights to it, including the right to the right to abolish slavery, the right for women to vote. Here again is the first couple of amendments. You have this is essentially saying giving power to Congress. This is the Constitution text, and again, this is Constitution. Again, we will reiterate how to say it. Constitution.